Hey everybody, Justin Cena here. I got a great video if you're at all interested in Shopify and e-commerce. And I'm going to be going over the 3 different inventory models that you could run with Shopify. And I'll give you a little description of each one, and I'll talk about which ones have some of the biggest upside out there. And the 3 models that I like to use: print on demand, dropshipping, and fulfillment services. I'll go over each of them. If you've been following me for a while, you definitely know what print on demand is. It's the idea that we're going to be selling products that we'll never have to touch. Things like t-shirts, hoodies, wall canvases, all different things that can be produced based on the design that we provide to our print on demand company. No inventory, no dealing with the shipping, no buying products up front. It's a no inventory business model. It's super powerful. And it's the idea that you're going to be selling those print on demand items through your Shopify store, typically connected to a niche. Like you might have a cat store with things like funny cat t-shirts and funny cat hoodies and cool cat canvases, all these different things. The second model would be dropshipping, right? You're probably familiar with that, like things like AliExpress, Alibaba, where you're selling products that are already produced. So it's not print on demand. It's not based on your designs. It's real products that are produced typically in China that the producer or the supplier sends directly to your customer. So again, it's a no inventory business model where you're not going to be touching any of the inventory in-house or anything like that. You're just going to be drop shipping other people's products. They're going to be dealing with the fulfillment. And AliExpress, definitely the most popular source when it comes to just doing the basic China drop shipping that you typically see on some Shopify stores. Now, the third model is fulfillment services, where you actually have a product or products in a fulfillment house, and similar to dropshipping, they do the fulfillment for you. Now, this is thought to be more of a scaling method, a method that you would go to once you're already making sales. When you have some significant traction, you want to take your product that's working, whether it's a t-shirt, a hoodie, a dropship product from AliExpress, it doesn't matter. You want to take that and bring it into a fulfillment house, right? It's a scaling method. Why do you want to do that? Money, right? You're simply going to make more money, right? And is this a starting strategy? Not necessarily, right? You could typically start with t-shirt print on demand or drop shipping from AliExpress and really start to figure out your market, figure out how to run ads, figure out how to make sales and how to make them profitable. But once you're making profit and you want to scale, right? You take things in-house. You work with a fulfillment house, and I'm going to walk you through how to work with fulfillment houses. And really the whole idea is that you'll buy inventory in bulk, you'll get it sent to the fulfillment house, and then the fulfillment house will ship to you. And the big thing here, again, is money, right? Because you're buying in bulk rather than drop shipping individual products one at a time, you're going to sometimes find your cost could be 10, 20, 50 times cheaper than the drop ship cost, which means you've just increased your profit 10, 20, 50 times compared to how you'd be doing it with drop shipping. Right, that's the big win when you work with fulfillment houses. And again, you want to kind of be, you want to pre-qualify yourself to be able to get into this spot, right? You don't want to just immediately jump in and start doing fulfillment house work, right? You want to have a sustainable store, a history of sales, and the ability to go ahead and make more sales. That's when you take the product in-house and say, okay, I could easily sell 500 of these. Let me order them in bulk. Let me save 5, 10, 20, 50% off the cost of drop shipping, and I'll just send them to the fulfillment house and they'll still do all the work. So it's still a no inventory model in terms of the idea that you don't need to touch the inventory. You're never going to be shipping things. You're never going to be picking and packing. The fulfillment house will do that all for you. And what I'm going to show you is the fulfillment house that I use and the one that I highly recommend for you to use for your Shopify store. Okay, so I want to introduce you to Honest Fulfillment, and this is definitely the preferred way to do your fulfillment services. It's one of the most revolutionary ways to do fulfillment out of China, and I'm going to walk you through, we'll go over the shoulder, exactly what you could expect when you use Honest Fulfillment, why I recommend it, why I use it, and why it's going to help you make so much money. So Honest Fulfillment really is the solution to your fulfillment woes, especially if you've had any issues, let's say working with AliExpress, and I'll talk more specifically about that in a minute. But I want to show you really exactly what you're going to get when you work with Honest Fulfillment as your fulfillment partner. And really the biggest thing, drastically reduced refund requests and PayPal disputes, chargebacks, issues, basically less headache, right? The reason being that you can expect a much higher quality product and service and delivery support on their end as well. Basically, and you see in the second point, no more headaches processing orders, basically just making it a lot easier for you by actually having real native English support. You could speak directly to the founder. It's the only British run and managed sourcing, branding, and fulfillment company in China. So English as a native language, let's be honest, it's super attractive, especially when something comes up. You don't want to have to deal with any, lost in translation type of thing. You're going to be able to deal with English-speaking people. You're going to be able to deal directly with the founder, and I think that's the real big reason here. Phil's definitely a trusted guy in this space, and you're going to feel that in terms of your revenue and in terms of your return requests just drastically being reduced. Obviously, syncing orders, automation of tracking numbers, those are things that are built into this as well. Really kind of happens with every fulfillment service. What you're getting with Honest Fulfillment is just, for lack of a better word, an honest company that's going to really kind of work in your corner for your success. Full help and support transitioning your dropshipping brand, I think, is huge, right? Let's say you're at the point where you're making some consistent sales with dropshipping. Honest Fulfillment can work directly with you to basically plot out and strategize on how to transition from, let's say, dropshipping from AliExpress to taking that product, bringing it to the fulfillment service and maximizing your margins. They have tons of experience doing that, right? And they always like talking about the truth about the business. And I think this is just, again, kind of, it's in their name, right? They're really big on honesty and kind of being open and being transparent in terms of how the process works, how they could avoid any headaches, how other people kind of typically do things in this space, and really the solutions, the advice, the strategy, or even just the idea of being able to strategize with the team. It kind of extends your own business and now gives you not just a fulfillment service, but a fulfillment partner that's going to really provide value to you. So that's, one of the biggest reasons, one of the biggest things that should attract you over to Honest Fulfillment is the fact that you could seamlessly transition from dropshipping, however you are right now, into really becoming a truly sourced or self-sourced e-commerce brand, not relying on any vendors or dropshipping, things like that, really taking everything in-house with Honest Fulfillment. Like I said, native English 7-day support, more happy returning customers because they're going to get products quicker, right? We're going to be just changing our shipping times a lot. We're not going to have to risk those sometimes 3-4 week shipping times from AliExpress. It's really not going to be that way anymore. And other people like to kind of say once you go in-house, you're finally legit. And that's not to say that dropshipping or print on demand are not legitimate businesses. They absolutely are. But it's a different kind of feeling, a different really set of numbers, a different upside. Really everything kind of changes when you have a product in-house. So quote unquote making your business legit, really just kind of making it different. It's a natural advancement or evolution of a brand when you start to make sales. Physically seeing your product, that's something that is definitely underrated. A lot of times, in a perfect world, we would test or order for ourselves every dropship product, but we don't do that. But when we're definitely selling products consistently and at scale, we need to make sure that the quality is great. So being able to test, being able to actually put your hands on the product, not just getting pictures sent from the supplier, that's a big deal. High quality packaging as well, same day processing, they're really good at that as well. And let me state this about kind of, and this was kind of going back into the idea that, fulfillment services definitely, they're definitely a scaling method, right? AliExpress, it's a good way to test. It's a good way to start, right? And, if you're not making consistent orders, it doesn't really make sense to do a fulfillment service at this point. Understand that this is an option for you to scale your business. Right, so really not for those who are just starting out, right? Just starting out, that's why you use those no inventory, ASAP business models like print on demand and drop shipping for sure. And then you get to, a point where you could take it in-house. That's when you reach out to Honest Fulfillment. That's when you start having product in their warehouse and you let them fulfill. And when you are at that level, they don't have a minimum order quantity. Typically companies are going to have MOQs, right? Minimum order quantity. You're not tied to that with Honest Fulfillment. Basically the way that it works instead of an MOQ is that if you have a higher number of inventory, if you place a bigger order, your service will be cheaper, right? If you have less product, your service will be a little bit more expensive. So there isn't any MOQ in there, but really this isn't about testing, right? I want you to go into fulfillment houses not just because I'm making a video on it, but because you realize that it's a great scaling method for your business. And you're only scaling when you have something that works. So hopefully, you're either at the point where you have some great products going, or you're well on your way to launching products and testing products, drop shipping, and then you move them over into Honest Fulfillment, into those fulfillment services. I think a common question that you might have when you're thinking about Honest Fulfillment or any fulfillment service is really, how does this differ from AliExpress? Or how does this differ from so-and-so agent or so-and-so trade partner or whatever it is in terms of other people that want to source products for you, want to do fulfillment. And I think really it's perfectly highlighted here on this link, and you see this over here, honestfulfillment.com/gamechanger. Really long processing and shipping times. That's obviously the biggest thing here, right? We want to cut that down. We want to get our products in the mail ASAP. We want to get tracking numbers to our customers ASAP because that puts them at ease. That's going to have them not emailing us, not calling us, not opening disputes, not making chargebacks, right? As soon as we get processing to go, under the typical AliExpress times, you see a massive drop off of issues and disputes. We kind of talked about that at the beginning of this video, where you're going to have less disputes, less chargebacks, less complaints, because we're going to have much quicker shipping times and much shorter processing times. So bottom line, the product is going to get to your customer quicker, right? And it's even something that you could highlight in your business. It's a real differentiator that you have, very fast, sometimes same day processing and quick shipping. Number 2, bad supplier. Everyone has run into this, right? And I'll tell you the worst thing possible is when you run into a supplier while you're scaling and the product's out of stock, or the product all of a sudden is $4 more expensive, or all the shipping was supposed to be e-packet, but it was actually just untracked China Post, and all these huge issues that can happen. You're going to eliminate those, right? You get to work with one single supplier, one single fulfillment partner. You're going to be able to get in direct contact with them, native speaking support, right? It's not going to be about jumping from supplier to supplier. You're going to actually have a partner now that's going to help you with your fulfillment. And number 3, setting yourself apart, or setting your store apart from the rest. AOV is the game here, right? How can we make more money per customer, right? How can we make more sales per customer? How can we get them to come back later on and increase their customer lifetime value? How can we get them to leave reviews and give us photo testimonials and give us a perfect or a near perfect chargeback score with our credit card processor, right? These are all things that are going to set you apart from the people who are drop shipping from AliExpress. And like I said, this isn't to say that AliExpress doesn't work, but when you're at this point where you're making consistent sales, right? You're worried, you're focused on things instead of making sales, but you're focused on things like increasing your AOV or bundling products together to maximize your customer lifetime value, right? This is when you go in and you work with Honest Fulfillment. And these 3 points, I think, can have 6 or 7 figures worth of impact onto your business. So a really, really huge portion of this is the comparison, Honest Fulfillment versus AliExpress or some of those subpar shipping agents out there. I don't think it's even a comparison, right? Honest Fulfillment just straight up crushes it. Another big thing also, having a dedicated rep for support. Really laughable if you would think that there's really any support on AliExpress. It's one of the negatives out there. Really not going to be able to deal with returns or issues with the quality or anything like that. It kind of just is what it is over there at AliExpress. Having a dedicated rep, again, 100% native English speaking staff there, being able to access the founder, Phil, directly, massive value there, right? Massive value that is just built into what you get when you use Honest Fulfillment. I'll show you some of the other things that you could do: branding, photography, videography, all about kind of building your brand. And they talk about their 3 game changers, right? Branded e-commerce is one of them. Really, this is one of the best supporting things that you could do to build your brand. Taking everything in-house, a lot of different branding elements that Honest Fulfillment can work with you on, and really the support, top-notch, again, 100% English speaking. And here's actually Phil, founder here. Very, very, very easy to get in contact. And in fact, what I want you to do, if you think that this is going to be something that can help your business, either right now or in the near future, click on the link below this video. It's going to bring you into direct contact with Phil through Messenger. And you could basically talk about how he's going to be able to help your business. Everyone's going to be a little bit different, of course, depending on how you're sourcing, where you're sourcing, what products you're selling, and all that great stuff. But if you're making sales with dropship products, if you're making sales with apparel products, you need to talk to Phil right now. You need to look at Honest Fulfillment. And like I said, it's by far the best way to do fulfillment right now. I recommend it. I use it. I know you're going to love it. So reach out to Phil. Really, you literally can talk to the founder directly. Just hit that link right below this video. You'll get direct contact with him on Facebook Messenger totally transparent. He's going to tell you exactly how everything's going to work and if you guys are going to be a match. So if you want to make more money, if you want to take advantage of this great scaling method of taking things in-house using a fulfillment service, Honest Fulfillment, Phil is your guy. Click the link, talk with him directly. Let me know if this helps you out, and I'll talk to you real soon. Thanks a lot.